What's going on, guys? It's Thursday. That means another Forza trial, and I'm going to help you win it. This week we have Getting Gnarly. It is a cross-country event limited to cars from the 1980s tuned to C spec. Now, the car I decided to go with was a 1981 Ford Fiesta XR2. It's one of my favorite cars in real life. I'm glad I got to recommend it. I've used it before for a B-Class trial a few months ago. That was also for 1980s cars. It might have been for anything goes B-Class. Anyway, this car, I spent a decent amount of time on this tune. And the reason why I wanted to use this car is because I knew how good the car performed as a B car for cross country. So I figured I would just scale it down to C. And it's a very competitive car. You'll see in my footage, like my team was nowhere to be found. They were all pretty much invisible. And I ran away from everybody, including the drivatars. There was no, challenge at all using this car. It was just a great performer. I will say there's a couple of things you should look out for in this event. Number one, the first race, about 30% in, there's a big jump. If you're not carrying enough speed or hit, or that kind of weird angle, your car can rebound funny and want to kind of spin out or flip over even. So be mindful of that. Another thing to keep in mind in the third, well, for me personally using this car, I like to use a lot of e-brake, as I usually do in cross country in general. So like in the third race, what I like to do on the sharp turns, there's several in the third race, I like to slow down with regular brakes, and instead of power sliding with the brakes, it kind of makes your car want to skid a little more than usual. I usually slow down a little bit, and then I'll use the e-brake, to get it sideways into the turn. It's very efficient with this car once you get used to, knowing what to do in that situation, how much e-brake you want to use, not overdoing it. But yeah, this car is great. I can't say enough good things about it. I think I did a pretty decent job on this tune. I don't really know how the cars I could even say to use. I mean, because my team didn't really give me anything to go by, so I know a lot of them are using one of the Ford Escorts from the 80s. I'm not sure if that, there were 600s. I'm not sure if that was a loaner car and they already had it tuned up to 600, or if they just all coincidentally used that car. But it might be okay if you have a nice tune on it. People, you would think, since it's cross country, you would want to use that Lamborghini, the LM002 or whatever it's called. It might be okay. It's fast, but it accelerates really slow, so it might not be that great of a car to use. I'm trying to think off my head what would be another good car to use for this event. I'm not really sure what else I could recommend to use. I definitely like this car though, the Fiesta XR2. I looked up videos. I saw somebody use the Holden Commodore. I mean, I'm sure that car is fine if you have a decent tune on it as well. It's just not really a car I wanted to use. I wanted to use something a little different, so that's why I used this car. I didn't even see what the reward was for this week. I don't even know if that's even worth going after, if it's something you really need to do. I'm definitely going to have to do this trial, a couple more times. I'm assuming, hopefully I can find some good teammates that'll actually help me out. We can actually win and get the aforementioned prizes. It's just, well, I don't think I've ever been in a trial, but it's been a long time where my teammates were this bad. It's definitely been a while. Most of the time there's usually 2 or 3 that do okay, and then 2 or 3 that are just awful, but this time pretty much all of them are terrible. So hopefully you guys don't run into that same problem. Anyway, let me know down in the comments what car you decided to go with, what tune you used, and all that stuff. I like knowing what works for you guys. It's always good to get other perspective on what suits other people's driving styles. Hope you guys can get the rewards and all the stuff for this week. I'm gonna go for those passes for the little backstage event. Those are kind of cool. I'm going to continue to grind for those. Hopefully you guys can as well. Some of the cars they put up there, they're a little harder to find, which is nice. I'm glad you get to vote for it. I think that's a neat concept. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoy this week's events, and I will see you guys next week.